The most we see on screen at any given time is 46.
He counted them.
Right,
He paused it and counted them.
Healthy 1,900.
Welcome back, guys. This is going to be another reaction video. Today I'm checking out Game Theory. What level is Ash's Pikachu? Let's go ahead and skip all the nonsense about how I was gone forever and now I'm back and blah, blah, blah. Let's just skip right over that and hop right into the video.
It's been 3 years since I undertook the mammoth task of calculating Ash's age. 2 videos
Apparently
that
he's
drove me
20.
insane with days of
I haven't watched
research,
that video yet, so
cross-referencing,
spoilers.
Watching the show, it was definitely worth it.
Pikachu.
What do you mean that was nothing? I ripped my hair out researching that episode. Oh, wait, is that it? I barely felt a tingle. You've traveled to 8 different regions at this point. Surely you have to be stronger than oh, that's what the episode's about, isn't it?
It's such a cringe interview, but it makes me laugh because it's like, you know what, bro? You went for it.
Yeah, it's another one of those, what channel should this be?
I love when people can just embrace the cringe, man. I try to do it. I'm not very good at it. It's like embarrassing sometimes for me. It sucks. It's hard. But I think if you can embrace the cringe, it's like a really key element of being a decent YouTuber. It's just embracing the fact that you're just being, as long as you're just being yourself and you're not faking it for content, it's okay if it just comes off as cringe, man. It just is what it is. It's going to sometimes.
Anyway, back in 2018, I did a theory that nearly broke me. I wanted to figure out how old Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon anime really was. And if you watched that theory, you'd know that it took a toll on me. Days and weeks of solid research and writing with details hidden in the craziest of places. But alas, dear
I love this timeline where we just have too much time on our hands.
And
we can research stuff like this.
People have about the Pokemon
it's so
anime.
funny to me, man.
What level is Ash's Pikachu?
Like,
you see,
like someone can make a living off of doing research on video games and finding out theories that are obscure about them. I love this timeline, dude.
Episode of season 14,
it's a great timeline.
The start of the Pokemon Black and White or Best Wishes arc. In this episode, Ash challenges a trainer who's just received his first Pokemon from Professor Juniper, a Snivy. In this battle, Pikachu lands 1 hit on his opponent and receives 2 hits in return. But after the second hit, Pikachu faints. He just loses the battle. How? At this point, Ash and Pikachu have traveled to 5 different regions.
He reset his level. He caught a new Pikachu.
And won against the toughest trainers, even literal gods. So that was it, friends. My theory brain went to work to figure out what level Pikachu would have to have been by the time he fought Snivy in that episode to prove definitively that there was literally no way that he could possibly lose. And to do it, I had to sit down and watch the preceding 651 episodes of the anime and 13 movies, which, yes, are considered canon. I double-checked. I had to watch every single one because guess what? All the battles that Pikachu appears in and makes a Pokemon
How many hours
are
is
not
that?
Clearly marked off on any fan wiki in existence. Oh boy.
1,800 at least.
But I can tell you that my work was worth it because
18,000
at the end of my anime binge was
this is half an hour a piece,
to say the least. Pikachu was
no, that'd be if
nowhere
it was
near
times 30
the level
hours.
that I
That'd be
or anyone
minutes.
else in the fandom currently thinks
18,000 minutes plus whatever the movies are.
Is Pikachu,
jeez, man.
Maybe
that math is completely wrong. I don't know, dude. I'm tired. I'm doing this at like 7:40. Okay.
Be our best approximation of his level. The anime timeline and geography don't really line up with the games perfectly, and we all know that they don't totally follow the same rules as the games.
Electric attacks won't work. Pikachu, the horn! Smart move. Rhydon's horn acts just like a lightning rod.
As such, I needed to set some ground rules. We're only going to be counting battles that we see
lightning
on
rod
screen.
nullifies
Pikachu
electric
has
attacks.
had to have fought in the battle, and the opponent has had to have fainted, usually shown
So
by
we're going to calculate his experience? Is that what's happening?
They have to have been deemed unable to battle by a referee. We also won't be counting every time Team Rocket blasts off again. There are, however, occasions where Team Rocket's Pokemon are shown to clearly faint prior to their blast off, and so those will be counted. We also will be considering moves used as a sign of Pikachu leveling up. This is because the names of moves are sometimes used interchangeably, especially in the early seasons of the English dub. They also have a habit of giving Pokemon moves that they can't physically learn, like Charmander using Skull Bash, a move that the Charmander family can never learn, or Pikachu learning the move Volt Tackle, a move that can only be obtained through breeding and not learned naturally. Now, for this theory, we're going to be using the flat rate EXP equation from the games, hence why this is a game theory, where the amount of EXP you earn is based off of the following factors. If the opponent is wild or owned by a trainer, if the winning Pokemon is with its original trainer, the base experience yield of that specific Pokemon, if the Pokemon is holding a lucky egg, the level of the fainted Pokemon, if an EXP point power is active, if the Pokemon has an affection rating of 2 or above, and if the winning Pokemon is
too
past the level, it
much.
should evolve.
You went too deep.
Multiplied together and
went too
divided by
deep
7,
down the rabbit hole.
Based on if the EXP share is on, which leaves you with an equation that looks a little something like this.
Who knows
Sections
this?
T, E, P, V, and S are all going to be set to 1, as Ash is Pikachu's original owner, and the other items are not seen to be used. Variable V was only implemented in Gen 6, which we're not getting to today because we're stopping our calculation at that particular Snivy fight. Pikachu's affection, though, is an interesting one. It becomes 1.2 if the affection is above 2, which I believe happens around episode 30 onwards, as Pikachu there is shown to put aside his own feelings to help Ash get what he wants. So those are all the obvious and easy variables. The big challenge is figuring out the level
All the
of
Pokemon
each
that
and
it fainted.
every losing Pokemon
Yeah.
throughout every single one of the anime battles. For the sake of the theory, we use two ways to calculate this. If the Pokemon
Moose?
is wild, I took the route that they were on, or at least the route they should be on based on which cities
matched
they're traveling
it.
between,
Okay,
and from there,
that's
I looked
smart.
at the highest level Pokemon and lowest level Pokemon that you can find on said route. From there, I simply took the median number, or middle number.
you took the
For
median,
example,
okay.
on Route 1, the highest level is 7, but the lowest is 2, so the median level for that route is 5. For any trainer battles, I instead use the mean level, or average level for that route, adding them all up and dividing by the number of trainers. The exception to this was when gym leaders or Team Rocket used Pokemon that their in-game counterparts also use, in which case I just used the level from that Pokemon directly.
Smart.
The final factor is that we'll be calculating Pikachu's level by taking his total experience and finding the cube root of that number. This is because Pikachu is part of the medium fast EXP group, and so this is how the game calculates it. All right,
into the EXP
geez,
group?
enough table setting.
Oh,
Let's actually
bro.
start the quest, shall we? Pikachu's adventure begins in the Kanto region.
That's
when
so
Professor
great.
Oak gives him to Ash as his first Pokemon, meaning that we start with Pikachu at level 5, just like he does in Pokemon Yellow. In that first
Okay.
episode, Pikachu actually gets his first win, and it's an impressive one. Ash and Pikachu get chased by a flock of Spearow, which forces Pikachu to leap into the air and unleash an incredible
zap
thunder
'em.
shock. Now, these Spearow would have been about level 5, considering that they're on Route 1. The most we see on screen at any given time is 46.
He counted
So that
them.
right
He
there
paused
gives
it and
us a
counted
nice,
them.
healthy 1,905
Wow, that's a big
EXP
boost.
right off the bat, immediately jumping Pikachu to level 12
Wow.
in the first episode
Okay.
alone. Things are looking good. Pikachu's victories after that first episode, though, become few and far between. Beating Brock's Geodude, a wild Squirtle in episode 12, Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, a wild Grimer in episode 29, and a trainer's Paris on episode 41. Though
Wow,
in
we're
this
at
episode, we're
41.
going to assume that Paris is level 5 due to the story pointing out that he's particularly weak.
What a pathetic Paris.
At this point, we come to one of our first tricky calculations. Pikachu defeats Ash's Charmeleon in that same episode, episode 41, which on its own is fine, but Charmeleon only evolved the episode prior and will evolve again in just 2 episodes' time, not even appearing in the next episode. This means that we have very little to go off of what his level would be. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to assume that he's now level 26, right in the middle of Charmeleon's
Smart.
2 evolutionary points. After this, Pikachu wins against a wild Dodrio in a hospital in episode 44, our first Team Rocket feint in episode 1 of season 2, then there's Blaine's Rhydon and a return of Jesse's Arbok in episode 6, a few more uneventful battles before Pikachu has an incredible victory against 3 Pokemon at the start of the first movie, then have a fight with the trainer's Marowak in season 2 episode 19, Pete's Arcanine in the 3rd round of the Pokemon League episode 22, and his final Kanto victory, Richie's Butterfree in the 4th round episode 25. So
Holy
by
moly.
the end of the Kanto region,
We went so
Pikachu
deep
has
down the
won
rabbit hole.
21 battles, and by my calculations is now level 30.
Okay.
Which makes his victories that much more impressive.
Gen
Considering
1
by
is
the
level 30.
4th round of the Pokemon League, your opponents are supposed to be in their high 50s. So I guess Ash is either smarter than we think, or he's incredibly lucky. Either way, his luck soon runs out. He's defeated by Richie, and Ash and Pikachu head on over to the Orange Islands. And, this is where things go a little off the rails. See, the
Uh-oh.
Orange Islands have never appeared in any Pokemon game. Why? Why couldn't I have picked a simpler episode? It's okay, Matt Pat. Remember what the therapist said. Breathe in, breathe out. It's okay. I'm good. Let's get to it. The closest thing I could find to the Orange Islands was the Sevi Islands, introduced in Fire Red and Leaf Green, which, fun fact, by the way, I never thought about this when I was actually playing the games, but it finally clicked as I was researching for this episode. Sevi, V-I-I, that's 7 in Roman numerals, but it's also a pun. See, Sev is short for 7, and then the 2 eyes at the end represent the 2 other islands. Mind explosion! Anyway, the Sevi Islands are located in a similar place on the wider
did not know
world
all of
map,
that.
and they're basically the adventure after your main adventure.
I just thought it
in
was
the
for
Kanto
7.
region, so I'm guessing they're gonna have to do. Pikachu doesn't have many battles in the Orange Islands, but he does have himself a few wins. He beats Team Rocket's Arbok, Weezing, and Lickitung in Season 2, Episode 34, which would be similar levels to that of the Rocket Grunts that you find in the warehouse on Island 5. There's a wild Rhydon and Jesse's Arbok a second time in Season 2, Episode 48, and a Gym Leader's Marowak and Alakazam in Season 2, Episode 52, which I based off the Trainer Tower on Island 7. To finish it off, Ash challenges the
Bro, I'll be
champion of
honest, once I hit the
League, whose
Orange
levels
Islands,
was
I
able to
gave up.
calculate from the Fire Red and Leaf
I tried
Green
taking the
region.
time to rewatch this again, like, I don't know, a few years ago. and I got to the Orange Islands, and I got bored, and I gave up. So I probably just need to move on to Gen 2.
Champion rival Blue, when you
I don't
change
know.
into a
It's
rematch
probably
after
just not
beating
for
the
me.
Sevi Islands, making them all about level 73. Pikachu crushes it, beating
I
both
didn't
his
even like
Ditto
it that
and
much as a
Dragonite
kid.
in season
I mean,
2,
I
episode
watched a
55
lot
and
of it, but
56. Ash actually
post,
wins this
like,
battle
season 1 or
entirely
2, I
and
don't think I
enters
watched
the
it
Orange Island
anymore.
Hall of Fame, which, strangely enough, nobody ever seems to acknowledge. The show talks all about how the Orange League has trainers that are
Whole lot tougher.
and even though Ash wins, no one ever seems to remember it. Even in blogs outside of the show, he only got attention when he finally won the Alola League. Like, oh my gosh, Ash actually won something for a change. He won back in season 2, guys. I mean, what does a guy got to do to get some recognition around here? Your time will come, Ash. Your time will come. But before that, we got 3 more regions to plow
Oh
through. At
my
the end of the
gosh.
Orange Islands, Pikachu has amassed 35 levels.
Okay.
Wait, really? Is that it? How are you taking down Pokemon that are twice as powerful? At this point, you might think that my pursuit's been wasted, as by my own logic, Pikachu shouldn't have been able to win those fights, but I'm not gonna let anime logic get in the way of my cold, hard calculations. That is, empirically speaking, what level he should be at based on all the fights he's done at this point in the series. So, we're carrying onward to the Johto arc, which brings around a shift in the way that the anime works. The first 2 seasons had 2 regions and 2 leagues, but in Johto we actually have 3 seasons just to complete that 1 league, meaning that there are way more battles per region along the way. So you would think
I
that
did
this
not
is where
realize that
Pikachu's
that's
level
how
would
the
start
show
to climb
worked.
faster, but there are 2 problems.
Now it makes so
First,
much
Pikachu
more
takes
sense.
a bit of a back seat during the Johto arc to let Ash's shiny new Pokemon take the spotlight. Secondly, the start of a new canon region also means an interesting twist with regards to the game mechanics. The Pokemon levels within the region reset. Although at this point Pikachu is at level 35, the Pokemon in the early routes will be very low level Pokemon, as you'd expect when you start a new game.
They don't get very
Anime
high
does
level
make
in
a point
Johto
of this
either.
when Ash first arrives, showing that he's too overpowered, hence Pikachu taking a back seat and us saying goodbye to characters like Charizard and Squirtle early on. Now, instead of me just rattling off a bunch of battles, I'm gonna show you the list here. You can trust me, I watched them all. Some noteworthy things worth mentioning:
Watched
episode
them all.
41, Ash runs into the other Team Rocket, Cassidy and Biff.
The name is Butch. Can't you get anything right?
Sorry, Butch. So for these guys, I decided to take the grunts from the radio tower because it's the same city of Goldenrod, but also there's a striking resemblance between Cassidy and the female rocket grunt. Next, Pikachu has a run-in with Whitney's famous Miltank in Season 4, Episode 1, which he does defeat upon second try, much like I did back in the day. Stupid Miltank and your stupid rollout. But the
Everyone
big
hates
headache and
Miltank.
calculations came from our
'Cause we
old
didn't know how
friends, the
rollout worked.
original Team Rocket. In episode 33 of Season 4, Pikachu defeats Jesse's Arbok, and in episode 24 of Season 5, he defeats James's Weezing. This is where the problems begin. See, these Pokemon are from the very first region, meaning that they must have grown since we last beat them on the Orange Islands at level
Maybe they never won a
49.
battle.
However, because of the region reset, we can't take our usual levels from the surrounding trainers, as suddenly they'd be back to like level 20, which just isn't possible. So I had to make an educated guess as to what level they'd be. Assuming they're growing at a similar rate to Pikachu, I'd put them down as Arbok being level 55 and Weezing being level 60 at the time of their respective battles.
Holy
But if you don't agree
smokes.
with that methodology, it doesn't matter in the long run, which you'll see later. As I mentioned, Pikachu was used a lot less in this region. Only 21
Slowly
winning
losing
battles,
sanity.
The same as Kanto, but spread out.
Slowly
over 3
losing sanity.
seasons. This gives Pikachu a current level of 40. Only 5 levels more since we last left off in the Orange Islands. But at least now he's at a point where taking on Pokemon League opponents is at least a little bit more believable. And with that, it's time for a break. Seriously, this script is massive, and we're only halfway through all the episodes that I gotta cover. Plus, there's some really interesting problems that you and I have to talk about when it comes to the
Oh, wait,
upcoming
there's a part
seasons, like
2?
proving whether or not Pikachu's level
Oh,
gets
man.
reset from the events in the series, and weird calculation quirks like the Battle Frontier. Trust me, I wanted
I guess
to
we'll
make
have
this
to watch
one
part 2 at
episode.
some
I
point.
tried to thin this down to fit into one episode, but there's just so much that I have to cover to get to this answer. It's actually a really hard topic. And hey, I watched 600 episodes and 13 movies to learn the answer to this one. All you have to do is
That's
watch
a
2 of our
nightmare.
episodes to get it. So at least in my opinion, fair trade. Tune in next time as we reach our final answer. What
All right, guys. I will probably watch part 2 in the future. If you enjoyed that reaction, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.